We do not expect displays of emotion from our nurses. If you cannot control yourself, your nursing career will be at an end. You will have to think of withdrawing from— No! Melly whirled round. No, please. I want to be a nurse. It's all I've ever wanted. Her usually sweet and cheerful face looked pale and strained. Please, sister, just give me a few moments. I'll try, I really will. Very well. Take a short break now. I shall expect you back on the ward in 20 minutes, in command of yourself. Yes, sister, Melly whispered. Looking down, she could see sister's solid black shoes move away, leaving her alone. She tried to do as she was bidden, but she still could not move. She sank down, leaning against the wall next to the sink, and wrapped her arms around her knees. Part 1. 1951. Chapter 1. March 1951. Aston, Birmingham. All Melly had wanted to do that terrible Saturday morning was to give Mom a surprise. The baby was due any day now, and her mother, Rachel, was sickly and exhausted. You'll have to go down to the shops again for me later, Melly. Rachel Booker stood, holding on to the back of a chair for support as the children finished their bit of breakfast. Her face was pale, twisted with nausea. We've no lard. We need cheese. Bread. She was talking half to herself, but Melly was taking it all in. You can go later. Mind Tommy and Kev for me while I lie down for a bit. There's a good girl. I must have overdone it yesterday. Oh, I'll be glad when it's over. Clutching her belly, she crawled off upstairs. Melanie Booker, 9 years old, looked about the cramped room, the only downstairs living space of a back-to-back house. There was a gas stove, the table and chairs, a stool and armchair, and a sideboard where they kept the crocks and cutlery. The most impressive feature was the old iron range, which they only lit in the winter. A door opened to a tiny scullery with a sink, though there was no running water in the house. It had to be carried from the tap in the yard. Dad and Auntie had done the house up last summer. They stoved the house yet again to get rid of the bugs and papered the walls with a green-on-white pattern of trees and country scenes. Auntie Gladys was proud of her house and kept it nice, even though it was a running battle against damp and vermin in all these back-to-backs on yards which clung round the heart of Birmingham, pressed in tight between factories and warehouses. The room was crowded enough now, but soon there would be a pram in there again. Mom was forever cursing the place, saying it was a flaming rat hole. But so far as Melly was concerned, it was home. Melly was used to being in charge of her brothers. 2.5-year-old Kev, a wiry, active little lad, was on the floor, a crust in one hand, which he was posting absent-mindedly into his mouth, along with a ration of snot. With the other hand, he was scraping a tin lorry back and forth along the lino. He was brown-haired, with thin, dark arcs of eyebrows which made him look both innocent and quizzical. Tommy, who was 7 and darker in looks than Melly and Kev, was in his special chair, still eating his breakfast too. He could feed himself well enough with his good right hand, but the muscles of his tongue gave him trouble. It took him a long, laboured time to eat his food. Right, Kev, eat up now, Melly bossed him. You'll get muck all over it else, and keep out of me way while I do the washing up. She dragged a chair over to the gas stove. Clambering up, she lifted the heavy kettle down with sturdy movements to pour hot water into the enamel bowl she placed on the floor. She had to get on the chair again to put the kettle back. Then, narrowing her eyes against the steam clouding from the bowl, she carried it carefully to the table, added some cold and washed up the breakfast things, leaving them overturned to dry. Wielding the heavy broom, she swept out the room, working round Kev, chasing scraps of crust from under the table to cheat the mice. She wanted to please her mother, to do everything so that Mum would not have to work while she was feeling so poorly. Dad and Auntie had already gone out, because they worked at the rag market on Saturdays, so it was up to her to help around the house. A daring idea came to her. She would go and do the bits of shopping now.